clogged drains. Welcome to the Master of Unlocking podcast. I don't know why, but it's where we are. And also things that are clogged are arteries after eating Papa John's papadilla. The look on Caleb's face. So you go ahead. What did you get? What was your flavor?
I did what was it? The cheeseburger?
The double cheeseburger?
Whatever it was called.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because that was the limited time one. So I figured I would get that.
Yeah. Yeah, I did the same. I did double cheeseburger. Oh no, Jason, are we losing you? Oh, there.
You got me?
Yeah, now
Yep.
we got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're back now.
All right.
Okay.
You froze for a sec.
Mm-hmm. So,
Logan,
yeah,
if you had to guess what papadilla I got, what would you guess?
the buffalo chicken.
Ah, he's right.
That's what he always goes for.
Yeah, Buffy chicken. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. So, how was your Buffy chicken?
it was fine.
It's fine.
It was fine. I'm expecting. This is the second time I've gone Buffy chicken with the food evaluations. I used to call them challenges, and they are kind of challenging for your body to metabolize, but that's not what we're after here. Like I expect my Buffy chicken like sauced and tossed, and places are like throwing grilled chicken into something and then throwing Frank's on it real quick and like you're good. Like no, that's not.
That's the new cheap way of doing this. Yeah.
Yeah, a little something for the effort. So it was properly sauced. I would always take a little over than under, but it was fine. It was fine. It was like I think I would have rather grabbed 2 pieces of Texas toast, made my own buffalo chicken, melted some cheese and like made a panini or something. I would have probably rather have done that, but
That's
it
fair.
was fine. It wasn't bad. I wasn't like, oh, this is gross. Another mediocre food item for this podcast, in my opinion.
Full mediocre food items. Caleb, what'd you think?
Yeah.
Well, I don't with the cheeseburger one. I don't even know if I would go mediocre, to be honest. This was not good.
Oh,
Not
really?
at all
Really?
good. Yeah, it was extremely salty. Like I could not taste anything because of the salt.
My experience wasn't as bad.
The sauce they put on their burger sauce or whatever,
Yeah,
it just tasted like salt to me. It was
burger sauce.
I did not enjoy this.
I could have used it a little more mustardy. I like some mustard with mine. A little more ketchupy. They just kind of went with this burger sauce thing instead of trying to do a ketchup mustard kind of thing. What's
the burger sauce consist of? Like secret sauce?
It's just a bad Big Mac sauce.
Yeah, I was gonna say Thousand Island, something like that.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I think they would have been better off going a ketchup mustard route, or even just like do their spaghetti sauce and then like just throw some mustard sauce or does like a dipping sauce or something. But I'm kind of I would still say I was in the mediocre, not the bad, but yeah, was not a I would have rather had a pizza, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. So
I don't really even like Papa John's pizza that much, but I would have preferred the pizza over this.
Yeah, Papa John's pizza
they
is very
give you
generic, but
they give you that hardtack garlic sauce and you're good. So
Yeah.
no matter how poorly cooked the pizza is, you just put it in that garlic sauce and it's fine.
My wife she made her own papadilla instead. And so she got pepperoni, sausage, and cheese, and it was okay. That was okay. It was better than mine. So it got like a 6.
I would be willing to try a different flavor, but the double cheeseburger one, it's a good thing it's limited time. Nobody should be getting that.
Just don't get
See,
it.
that's what could almost get us in trouble if we go for like the limited time version of an item we're trying, because it could be like the shittiest version they have. Maybe we got to be careful.
Yeah, I don't know. Do we need to start going to staple menu items then?
No.
Does anybody have
That's the whole
anything-
point, is like we're trying
Does anybody
to...
have any non-staple items for next week? Because I think we are already done talking about the papadilla. Let's move on. We got
Yeah,
more important
mediocre
things
to
to
bad is the
Done. That's
review.
enough.
The only new thing I saw was the toasted cheesy chalupa.
Done. Let's
Okay.
do it.
It was like, yeah, I think it's something where they just like toast the cheese around the chalupa. That's basically all it is.
Do you
I
guys
don't
know
think
if
I've
I
ever
can
had a
get
chalupa. So
what?
this will be interesting.
Jason loves chalupas. I'm not a huge fan. I would rather have the gordita, the non-fried version. And the mouth is
I
just
don't-
dropped over here.
I don't know if I've had a gordita. What are these things?
Have you had so you've never had a cheesy gordita crunch before?
Do you even
No.
Taco Bell, bro? Do you
I get
even
Ta.co.
I'm weird. I get tacos at Taco Bell.
He does too. He's not lying. One
What?
time I went to Taco Bell with Caleb. I'm like, I've never went there with someone who goes like, of course they get the tacos on the side. No, straight tacos. I'm like, where's your Mexican pizza or your gordita or your chalupa or your triple crunch wrap? Like where's the entree?
I do like the crunch wrap. I'll give them that.
Crunchwrap's a thing.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, the toasted chalupa it is.
Toasted chalupa
You know
for
what?
next week.
I wonder if they'd upgrade me to chicken in there. I wonder if they'd throw me some chicken in there.
I think you could
Or
probably get beef, chicken, or steak. I want to say,
Okay.
all right, I'm going to go to ta.co right now. and
Real
see what
quick,
the
because
official,
do you guys
like,
remember the
box
double
thing.
XL chalupa? Do you guys remember that?
Mhm.
It was like the chalupa boat. Caleb, they fried the chalupa shell extra big and turned it into a boat. And then you put nacho cheese in it, but it was full of ground beef and chalupa. My take on the chalupa is you always go chicken with the chalupa. Always chicken. And what kills me is that I don't know if they still have it in store, but you can get it in a grocery store, their Baja sauce. And so I used to get the grilled chicken chalupa with Baja sauce. Oh, that's living. Baja sauce is basically like what we were talking about, like mayonnaise taco sauce in the way that you know, special sauce is ketchup and mayonnaise.
Mm-hmm.
It's like take taco sauce instead of ketchup and mix it with mayonnaise, but it's legit. It's good. So chicken Baja chalupa was always my thing, and then they got rid of it. So we'll see if they can do chicken for me again. I'm excited.
If you order through the app, I bet you could customize the crap out of it.
Oh yeah, I'm just looking at it right now. I can change the chicken for 80 cents.
Okay. Done.
It adds 80 cents, but subtracts 25 calories.
I have 80 cents.
And it
How are
tells
you
me that
subtracting calories?
Not much more.
because you're switching beef to steak or beef to chicken.
Oh, it had beef in it. Okay.
Yeah, so if you go beef to chicken, you lose 25 calories. You go beef to steak, you subtract 15 calories.
Got it.
So I learned something today, and I didn't know that they actually did the plus and minus on that. That's kind of interesting. They would just show you that in the ingredients. Good on you, Taco Bell.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be supporting Taco Bell next week.
Let's go back to something we like. And that's great news. I have 80 cents, which is all I have because I bought both next generation consoles.
Yes, you do. They're right behind your left shoulder. And yeah.
All the boxes are.
The boxes are right behind your left shoulder. Yeah.
What are you talking about, Caleb? My PlayStation's behind me. You just can't see it. Clearly,
the PS5 is not in that box.
No.
I know that for a fact.
Maybe I should look over. No. Oh my God, it's not here. Where is it? Did one of you steal it?
It wasn't me. I got my own.
I just had cake.
Twirling my mustache.
Mm-hmm.
I exchanged Caleb a PlayStation 5 for a cake. I'm not sure if that was the best deal, but I really love white cake.
It was. It's a rental. This is not a like a permanent thing.
Oh, thank God.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought I made a horrible mistake.
Well, wait. If you were to continue to get a cake every week, would that suffice?
I wouldn't say no.
Okay. Like, wait a minute. Like,
I'm gonna need to noodle on that. Okay. All right. Just
okay. That's what this
just,
podcast is about. It's just about proposing deals.
Yeah. So the new systems came out.
Yeah.
We have them all covered here on this podcast, like professional video game people.
Should we start? We start PS5 first or Xbox first? Does anybody have a preference?
I think we've all had some exposure to the PS5.
That's true.
You guys more so than me. I played with it a little bit before I handed it over to Caleb. Um, and you guys probably have more exposure to more games than I do.
Yes,
I
I've played a
have
lot of games.
I have a limited number of games that have been all on the new Series X. So
Okay. So does that mean we're starting PS5?
sure.
So sure. All right. So let's start PS5. Let's talk system, like the system as a whole first. So that thing is massive. That is a large thing. I only had one slot in my entertainment center that it would fit. Even that's even with my console shelves next to it. So when this thing does get retired, my console shelves cannot hold it. So that is a problem. It will have to just lay
Yeah.
diagonally in there somewhere, is whatever spaceship it is.
Well, this is the last one though. There
That's
won't
true.
be a
This
PS6.
is the console to end all
this is the-
consoles.
yeah.
So there is no PS6. This is it. It's just the PS5 moving forward. So, uh, yeah, that was an issue. Caleb, or have you found a home for the PlayStation? I guess.
My issue is it does fit on the shelf that I usually put consoles on,
Mm-hmm.
and there's room around it. Everything airflow is great,
Mhm.
but the HDMI port on my TV is on the other side of the TV,
Oh,
and the HDMI cable they give you is like 5 feet long, which does not even come close to reaching.
Yeah, especially Caleb, because you recently bought a really nice 4K OLED, and
Yeah.
so this is your foray into 4K gaming, and if you didn't have a cord, like a long cord laying around, then I could see like, oh,
Well,
what do I do now?
the problem is you have to have a special HDMI cable to get the 4K HDR stuff out of it.
yeah, you need
Yes,
a
that is
2.1.
correct.
Mhm.
I have plenty of long HDMI cables, but none of them will transmit that data.
They're
So
2.0 or whatever the
yeah,
highest 1080 standard is.
Yep.
Is it 2.1 or 2.2? I forget. Is that what
It's
called?
2.1 for 4K, 2.2 for Dolby Vision.
Okay. I couldn't remember
Which you
which one
can,
it
which
officially
I
was.
did. I think it was Cables to Go was the best value because I grabbed four for my wall and put
Mhm.
them in my wall to make sure that I was ready
I
for
did the
this day.
same. Yeah, I've got all that too. In my walls for a different TV. I have all that stuff set up for, but because my one down here, I have it on a stand.
Yeah.
So I don't have it
So
on my wall.
I have a cable on order, but until then it's I have it vertically just on the floor next on the other side of the TV. So
Does
Yeah.
its job.
yeah.
Yeah, it's designed out of the box to stand that way. So
I was rather upset that I could not stand mine up. Mine is laying flat, and I wanted it to stand up.
you wanted it to stand up. Why is that?
I just think it looks better.
Yeah.
It's more aesthetically pleasing. Something about the way that it fans out like that. I prefer that to
Yeah.
the.
When you put it on its side, it looks like an alligator or something.
I think it looks
like
like
something's eating it.
I think it looks like a cloister from Pokemon
Yeah.
on its side. Like that's. So I don't know why it annoys me on its side. But
You want it vertical so it has the pop collar look.
right, yeah.
That's what you.
There's
Yeah.
something about
Definitely
it
got
to
its
look that
collar
way.
pop, that's for sure.
So okay, so after that, let's kind of go UI. So Jason, I don't know how much you mess with UI, really a whole lot.
A little bit.
I like the little pop-up thing at the bottom. I think that's okay. I do wish that I could rearrange the order of those icons because I feel like I'm always going to the farther right. I don't know why.
Yeah, the only thing that's missing down there for me is a quick way to get to trophies.
The way to get to
Um,
trophies is terrible. It is not easily accessible at all. You have to go back out to the dashboard. You have to go up to your profile, then
Well,
click
no,
trophies.
you
Do you have another
can
way?
do the quick you can do the quick menu and then go to your profile there
Mhm.
and then my trophies.
Oh,
But it's like
I'm
two extra button
half
presses,
tempted to
and
turn
like
it
you
on
were
here.
saying,
Mhm.
the profile is all the way on the right. So when you pop it up, you got to go all the way over, click
Mhm.
on it, go up to trophies, click on that.
Yeah, I would love
Where
to be able to
I feel
move those
like
icons around
yeah,
and see and make those things be where I want them to be because that hub thing is just full of trash. Like there is nothing on there that I am interested in at all on that hub. Yeah, so defaulting to that is really not doing me any good. It's just a lot of like game clips, and it's not even what I'm interested in at all. So I'm not really
Yeah, we're
sure.
back in the early Xbox One era where it was just recording random clips of stuff you were doing.
Hmm.
And it's like, wait, why is there a clip of me doing that? Like, that's not even that
I mean,
interesting.
I think you can turn off like because I think it's every time you get a trophy, it records the game clip of it. So I think you can change that at the system or your profile level. I did see that. I was playing around through that. So I'm not sure why. I think I need to turn that off, but it still seems like it's recording more game clips and like screenshots than I'm actually taking. So I'm not sure why. Uh, so the other thing, I mean, I do like the way it looks and feels. Like it feels nice and new. Let's put it that way. But it's good, but it's clunky at the same time. Um,
I wouldn't say
the
it's clunky.
It's
I
just,
think
yeah,
it's
clunky is probably the wrong word to use. I would just say, yeah, the number of clicks to get to what I want to get to is a little too much sometimes, and there's just too much of it. The other thing that I'm not a huge fan of, and I hope they do change it, is the trophy sound is
oh,
different, and it's very muted, and I guess I kind of liked the trophy sound. Like being, I mean, it was kind of more of a high pitched chime, and now here it's just kind of like a doop. Like it's just a little, quick little thing. It almost seems like there's not even a sound at all.
yeah,
which
now
is
that you
kind of
mention it,
a
I haven't really noticed the trophy noise, which is probably your point.
Maybe, yeah. So if I could customize it, that'd be nice. Like if you could choose like new sound versus classic sound. I don't know, just something.
Yeah, the thing that I am really liking. Okay, so
Hmm.
this is going to lead into the games, I guess, but
Hmm.
with Astro especially, um, just being able to pull up that bar real quick, and
Hmm.
then see exactly which achievements you're close or which trophies you're close to, and then if you're a PS Plus member, you can click on it, and it just kind of shows you a hint as to where to go next, which is really cool.
So
And it
I'm.
works like amazingly well too. I thought it was going to be showing me stuff that I've already done, and like, oh, here you need four of these, so here's a video on how to get all four.
Hmm.
No, it like goes to exactly where you need to go, and the clips are all like 10 seconds long and really easy to follow. So I was really impressed with that part.
All right, I'm
what
gonna.
game specifically, Caleb? Did you use that in?
Astro.
Yeah, okay. I thought I heard you correctly, but yeah, that's neat to actually hear that that worked.
I'm gonna pull up Spider-Man right now. Which, by the way, so here, let's just do this here. So this is coming from Spider-Man, uh, completely at the menu screen. So I'm gonna just rotate around here. Let's see how fast this takes to load in.
Yeah, the load times are super impressive.
Yeah, like it goes to kind of a
That's
blank
actually
screen.
longer than anything that I've
Yeah, so
seen.
here, so press X to start. There's my game. Continue,
Yeah, load in.
and we're in. That's how fast
And
that was.
that's actually like a long load time
That
compared
seems like a
to.
long load time, I know, right? I'm gonna go ahead and just pull up that menu here. Yeah, okay, so I do have the same thing for like it tells me my trophies in progress and stuff. Um, even as a PlayStation Plus member, though, they do not have the guides on here for some of those. But at the same time, some of them there may not always be a guide for.
Yeah, and it depends on the game too, because
Hmm.
you don't always necessarily want that either.
Right.
You know.
Uh, oh, really? They created a game clip for that? That's a spoiler. That's a heavy spoiler. Just interesting as I was clicking through that little thing. Um,
Yeah, I would say I'm more positive on the UI than you.
mhm.
I think it's a huge step up from the last generation of consoles. It feels super snappy and responsive, whereas the old ones, both of the consoles felt always felt slow.
Mhm.
this, and then just being able to pull up that guide and switch between games at any time and have everything load up so fast.
Yeah.
It's
There definitely
really,
isn't a
really
quick
slick.
resume though on the PlayStation. Like it closes out the app if you open up a new app.
But the apps open so
But
quickly,
they
it
open
doesn't
very
really
quickly, yeah. So it's not
matter.
like the quick resume thing. I guess isn't a huge deal. I was just concerned that my daughter had closed out of one of my Spider-Man games before, like I had paused it mid mission, and she came in and changed it and changed the game on me, and I had no idea that she changed it. And oddly enough, it loaded right back up to where I was, even though the app completely closed. So it does have some sort of quick resume, but it's not like fully there, which is a little odd. But that might your mileage might vary based on your game on that.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah.
I just did that thing that you said to do with pulling up the go to your profile to pull up trophies. That's better than what I didn't see that earlier. So that
It's
is
slightly better, but it's not.
it's
I wish there was
still
just a trophies
it's
thing on
still
there.
pulling up the menu, going
Yeah.
down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clicks over to get to my profile, then 2 clicks down to go to trophies.
Just miss the good old days of the 360. You hit the guide button, you go left. It's right there.
Yeah, there was something to be said for that. That's for sure. And I keep wanting to hold down the PlayStation button to turn my PlayStation
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
I will
do
get
that every
there at
time.
some point. That's for
Mhm.
sure. But I guess we can probably head into Astrobot then, since that's kind of I feel like that's a system thing to even talk about, because that controller is something.
Yeah.
And boy, does Astro show it off. I was not expecting. You kind of heard in the weeks leading up to is when the press got a hold of everything, uh, eh, that it was really a showpiece, and they're not kidding. That thing is a showpiece for that controller. Uh, it's my kids have been loving that game. I have barely even played it myself, just because my kids have been playing it so much. I wish I got to play it more because it's a lot of fun. That game, I liked Astrobot on the VR, so this is not anything new, but it's a lot of fun just to run around in that world. That shows off the HDR very well, just how bright those colors are, how fast everything loads in and out. I mean, it's like I'd almost hate to like bring up all the little quirks of the controller because I almost feel like they're spoilers or something.
I know, right? Some of the stuff though, like when you like go over, if you're walking on glass and you hear the little pitter patter,
Mhm.
or like when it's raining on top of you and you can feel the rain on the controller. It's really cool.
Yeah, it really is. That bow and arrow, pulling that out with the tension on that bow and arrow. That was to me,
Yeah.
that was kind of the thing. It was like, boy, this feels right. Like this just feels like I'm pulling back on that bow and arrow, and I'm actually shooting this thing. So that's impressive.
I
And
remember the first time,
mhm,
I don't remember which spot it was, but the first time that it wanted you to use the triggers
mhm.
like that, I pressed down on it and I'm like, that's weird. The trigger only goes like halfway. Like
It's
that's a
right away.
weird decision.
Mhm.
There's the rocket. It pretends like they're rocket packs. Each individual
Yeah.
side is like a rocket, and then you press down to kind of like overpower that side, and the controller on the screen, juts up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it's one of the first things you do.
Is that with the
And
frog costume and the beach?
no, it's right away. There's
Oh,
there's like flames coming out of the bottom of each, out of
Well, it
each.
depends on which level you do first, I guess.
yeah, because you could pick either.
Oh, maybe. I feel like it's before you do level select.
Oh, maybe.
I
Let's
I
think
see.
should
I don't
remember
it's the
remember.
back
first
now.
thing you do. I think it's the
Okay.
very first thing you do is they show you the resist, because you press it and you're like, that's odd, and then you push it, and then that side goes nuts, and the rocket pack on TV for that side goes flying up, and
Mm.
then you go back. You do it on the other side, and that's like you're just right away. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, it hits it out of the park right away. It's
Mhm.
incredible.
Yeah, it really is. And in the little love letter they're writing to their history throughout the whole thing is very well done. I mean, just like, oh hey, it's like I found this artifact. It's like here's the light gun attachment for the PS3 Move controller. Like, sure, why not? Like, yeah, okay. It's just fun.
There were a couple of things though that I in the PlayStation 1 era that popped up that I didn't even know that those existed. Like I didn't know there was a PlayStation mouse.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't have
lots
known
of
that,
dumb
and I
accessories.
definitely played a lot of PlayStation. So
Yeah.
There was a trophy that popped up. I can't remember. It was like right off. I think it was the very first enemy you defeat. Um, is the trophy itself is just called "It's All in the Mind." Caleb, or you, I don't know if you'll get that reference, but Jason, do you get that?
it's all in the mind. No, I don't think I do.
So if you're beating up somebody, you're going kick, punch. It's all in the mind. If you want to test me, I'm sure
Oh
you'll find the
wow,
things I'll teach you. I'm sure to beat you.
wow,
Yeah,
good job, man.
There are so many references to
Rappa,
stuff
that's
in there.
crazy.
yeah. So
There's one part where you go up. My favorite one. You on the left hand side. There's a light shining down, and then at the bottom of it is just it's a Buster Sword just like hanging out, just like the loading screen of Final Fantasy VII. It's that was so cool, and there's stuff like that everywhere in this game.
there was like if you go over and you hit like the people who are filming the little movies, like I hit one guy and the Metal Gear sound popped up, and the
Yeah,
Astrobot guy had the snake headband on and stuff. I was like, okay, this is really dumb. So yeah, there's just little stuff like that everywhere that's just charming as hell.
yeah.
So
It's also a really easy platinum. Takes like 3 or 4 hours, if that. So it's cool that they put that on there, not only as a showpiece, but it's also a fun game,
yeah,
and like it makes you feel good about like buying your thing because you're like right away for me at least I was like I have a platinum already. This is cool, like this is a good
well,
decision
and
to
it's a
have.
pack-in game. When was the last time we had a
Yeah,
pack-in game? I, I mean, you had to buy Mario 64 with a Nintendo 64, didn't you?
Wii Sports.
Oh yeah, Wii Sports. It's a
Yeah,
pack-in
Wii
I guess
Sports
the
was
Wii
definitely included.
Wii U came with what did it come with? What was that called? Um it had all those mini games in it. What was I don't remember what that was called
I
now.
wonder, was it like Nintendo
Nintendo Land.
Land?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Oh
okay,
really?
yeah, Nintendo Land. Yep.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Guess I didn't. I played your
Yeah,
Wii U like
Nintendo
one
does it,
time.
but I don't know if Sony has before
Well,
or not, which
there was no
is
packing game with the Switch.
right.
So, hmm. Well, anyway, uh, should we shift gears and go to the Xbox now that we've kind of hit on that? So, Jason, you've got the giant refrigerator over there. Um,
I do.
yeah, how's that working out for you?
It's if I may say for you guys, you won't have seen it, but I did. I think it's a 13-minute unboxing video that I just published to our
I
channel
literally got the
just now.
notification just as we're sitting here.
There you go. It's me. I mean, it's crude. It's me holding a phone, opening boxes one-handed. But it's just kind of quickly. I do each system that I have leading up to that, and then compare sizes and stuff. The refrigerator is here. It's definitely taller than if you're talking about putting them on your side. It is definitely the tallest system I own. If you think about how
Mm.
both of these are sort of designed to be vertical,
Hmm.
I'm going to have to lay my systems on the side because they're going to be on top of this entertainment center for
Hmm.
airflow, and I use those shelves just to display.
Yeah, I see it.
So
Is it something is getting covered over by Doom or something? Is that what I'm seeing?
that right there is the Series X,
Hmm.
um, and it's backwards because my son likes to push the power button. So it is. I turn the button and he goes, "Where go? Where go?" I was like, "Sorry, buddy, you can't be smashing my power button over and over and
No.
over." So it's tall, as you can see there.
Hmm.
It's about half the size of that box. Um, so if you're Caleb, I don't know if it'd be interesting. Like I don't know if you were talking about your entertainment center, either of you guys, but you do have to kind of prep for basically. Let me look at the for good perspective, I have the 1X down there. It is 3 1Xs stacked up on top of one another. Probably.
Really?
Yeah, it's tall. It's not super wide, but it's taller than you think it might be for sure. You can see it's half the size of the box that it came in. The box it came in was really interesting. One of their the marketing stuff for the box is really interesting. Like Microsoft invested some money in some box fetish stuff. Maybe they anticipated unboxing videos. I don't know, because when you open it up, it's just got a ton of marketing in there. It's in a really nice sleeve, and it's got a plastic wrapping around it. And power your dreams over and over and over. Power your dreams on the box. Power your dreams on the side. Power your dreams wrapped around the console. And it has like a 45-degree slant when you open it up, which is in the video. It's interesting. Having said all that, I booted it up after the day before? Yeah, a day before my PlayStation arrived. I installed AC Valhalla and migrated my profile, so it had all of the purchases, but didn't have anything downloaded. It didn't download anything without my consent. So that kind of makes sense. It was like a ready to download thing. Like it was like tiles that were blank, right? So it knew my library, but it didn't automatically download anything. The controller is very much the same, except the D-pad is the D-pad from the Elite controller from the previous generation, the Xbox One generation. The D-pad is very, very nice, especially
nice
for a guy like me who loves, Mortal Kombat. That's a big fighting game plus. I said this in the video, but we've come a long way from that 360 D-pad. Whoo, that trash 360 D-pad. It's got texture. You probably can't see it. It's got textured back, just like the PlayStation 5 controller. And other than that, it's the same system UI that Xbox is doing right now. So I think the big takeaway between the two of them, you guys spent a little bit of time talking about the UI. I think the UI is so fresh, and I keep thinking about how PlayStation has said they believe in generations and whether or not they've actually done that, lately with how they've handled PS4 games and PS5 games differently than Microsoft has. The system feels like a fresh start for sure.
Even though it's the same.
5 does.
Oh, the PlayStation 5.
5 does. Feels like a fresh start, whereas the Xbox doesn't. It's a little underwhelming probably if you compare them side by side, especially when you compare Astrobot. Like that is, I mean, it's just, you guys said it, but it's something else. I played it maybe fractions of what you guys played with it, and I'm just as high on it because it made such a strong first impression, and it really shows you what the capabilities of the DualSense controller are. But having said that, the games run great on my Series X, and they look fantastic. So it's interesting. I think that Xbox is dedicated to cross generation, or not even saying the word generation necessarily. Who knows?
Yeah, I think they're going for that iPhone thing, like the fact that you can that really nothing changed. You didn't have to learn anything new. You could just pull it out of the box and go. And same with like taking an update with an iPhone. It's like, oh yeah, there's a couple of new features here and there, but for the most part, it's the same. Like you're picking it up and running with it.
All that's the same besides the controller. But there's a huge leap between the PlayStation 4 controller and the DualSense,
Right.
Like it's just a giant technical leap. And I think that the Series X controller is awesome. And I love Xbox controllers. So I'm not saying anything bad about it. It's just when you compare them both, the PlayStation 5 has made a bit stronger of an impression just from like an innovation standpoint. But also, you guys have experienced the UI more than I have and had a chance to kick around with it. So I really haven't. I don't have anything to add to that. But yeah, I like the Series X because it has introduced me to some new fidelity, and that's what this is all about, right? So
I would, just as you say, I was like, I find that with this controller, it is a little bulkier than the last one. not that I'm like it's not uncomfortable to do the left thumbstick, but it would be if I could use where the D-pad was for my left thumbstick, like an Xbox controller does, it would just feel more comfortable. That's all. But
Yeah,
again, it goes
that's
back to
interesting
the
you say
design of the
that.
Xbox controller, because ultimately my hand just naturally gravitates to be here, to be on where the D-pad is. Um,
Maybe that's
that's just years
learned.
of Xbox gaming.
Yeah,
That's
that's probably it.
probably.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if even if you go all the way back to, it's like the D-pad has always been the furthest left until, until the DualShock 1, right? So
Hmm.
everything you're always like you're putting your thumb, because before the DualShock, we just always used the
For the
D-pad
D-pad,
for
yeah,
everything,
it was
right?
always the
Because it's
farthest
the only
left. Yeah.
option.
Hmm.
So like your thumb, if you're an old school gamer, your thumb automatically goes there because that's where it was,
Hmm.
for Nintendo and everything on. You were always right there. So that makes sense.
It was always on the same plane as
Yeah.
your other your face buttons. So I think that's why I always feel like that. Because here, yeah, it's like my hands are depending on what you're doing. You're kind of going always back and forth here, where you're never going back and forth here, really, for the most part. I mean, every once in a while you got to hit the up or down button for a random thing in a game, but it's not as much as a face button.
So what have you been playing on that thing, Jason?
I have been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla and NBA 2K21.
Mm.
Call of Duty is on the way. It's just not here yet.
Okay, I played maybe an hour of Valhalla, so tell
Oh,
me
okay.
about that.
Yeah.
I've played probably 2,
Oh, okay.
so
Oh.
not as much as you. I will say one thing about Valhalla that gets me every time is I really like the music.
Mm.
I I don't I
Is it
and
very
forgive me because I don't.
Viking-esque?
Yes, but it also sounds like it's a really nice mix of I don't know, like I can't do this justice because it sounds like Nordic, like tribal screams, chants, like it's a woman singing a very like at a very like powerful high pitch, mixed with like an orchestra in the background.
Hmm.
Caleb, it reminds me a lot of the Witcher quest completion music, but more
Okay.
fleshed out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where it's got
I just
that,
heard that in my head when you said it. So
yeah,
yeah.
that choir of women's voices. Um, it's the same kind of thing, but it's got like it's just such a vibe to the music, and it's got a very big like epic feel to it, which I and it's interesting in the game interstitially when it happens. It's really cool. You can, and I don't know if a game has done this before, but it really is sticking in my head because as I approach a synchronization point, as I climb up to that sync point, the music comes in quietly and it gets louder and louder and louder and then swells when you unlock the sync point. And it's like it's like this really um I don't know, this really nice touch. It just feels elegant. Elegant's the word for it. It's just it's I don't know how they did it programmatically, but it's a nice touch. And the same thing for when you complete side quests and stuff like that. You can hear it swelling, and it kind of indicates to you like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing the right thing. And then it's the reward you get. It's like a dopamine release when you hear the music. It's really cool. Now, granted, will that get old after you do it thousands of times because it's Assassin's Creed? I don't know, and maybe the music will change in that regard. Maybe they'll use different music for that stuff. But that's the one like thing where it sticks out to me. This feels new. I haven't had a game do this before.
Hmm.
Um, the uh, the animation is really nice. The lighting's really nice. I can still tell that this is a cross-generation game, but not in the way we talked about. We just killed Watch Dogs. I don't want to be the channel that killed Watch Dogs.
We can just continue killing it.
But
It's fine.
you can really tell with Watch Dogs, right? Like, oh boy, this looks like a previous generation game. Maybe
Mm.
even worse. um, and this one, you can tell that it literally, if you installed this on an original Xbox or PlayStation 4, it must just light it on fire, or it must scream and run out the door.
Or they've
because
just massively down-resed a lot of things or something and taken the ray tracing and everything else out of it. I mean, there's probably different
maybe
versions that they made that
I don't know. I can't imagine that that's the case,
I have no idea.
but maybe, yeah, maybe because the polygon budgets in AC Valhalla are really high.
Mhm.
So I can't imagine that they're any different. Maybe, but you're right, Logan. It's probably like frame rate and lighting. Like they really probably tone that stuff down as much as
Mhm.
possible. I will say it's kind of funny. There is one area it doesn't perform well, and that's kind of out in the wild at times. There's some screen sharing, and so I thought it
Mhm.
was funny. Like, all right, what do you get, buddy? You buy a brand new Series X. What's your reward? Screen tearing. All right, fantastic.
It's early in the it's early in the generation. They're still trying to appease everybody. I think it's still going to happen. That's for
It
sure.
kind of made me. I just laughed to myself because
Mm.
I was like, console gamer expecting console not to be console and gets console experience. It's kind of just made me chuckle. But I don't have anything really else to say about it other than
We're pretty early
I
on.
think I think I will enjoy it probably. Maybe not. Maybe things will turn me off later on. But it
It's
seems
an
like an
Assassin's
Assassin's
Creed.
Creed game,
Yeah.
like an above average Assassin's Creed game, and it's a nice thing to play on a new system. So um, that's AC. Caleb, what do you have to say about it?
I mean, I barely played it at all, so haven't even been able to assassinate anybody.
Oh, I've
So,
unlocked that. Yeah, I ran into a group of assassins who were like, "Hey, we're assassins," which was a little weird. It's like, all right, we'll be friends.
Hey,
Really?
we're part of this secret club called the Assassins. You want to join?
Yeah. He goes. It was kind of funny. I think it's Eivor. Eivor, I think is the name of your main
yeah.
character. You can
Mhm.
pick female or male, and he goes, "I don't want to make the same mistake you guys did." When they're talking about the hidden blade, it's early, so it's not really a
Mm.
spoiler, but it's pretty funny because he's like, "I don't want to do this," and then the elder assassin in the group is like, just kind of absorbs the information and is calm, and the young one's like, "Motherfucker, I've sacrificed. I took this. Look at what I did. This was a choice." It's funny because like the Viking was like, "Why would you do that? That is stupid." um, so yeah, that's Valhalla. I will play it some more for sure.
Mhm.
New system, new game.
All
Must
right.
play it.
Let's do a cross uh game here. So let's talk 2K because you're playing it on an Xbox and I'm playing it on a PS5. Uh, I have literally played four halves of each game because I've just been playing like to halftime and then with a neighbor of mine and then we were like, oh hey, let's switch teams. Okay, so that's all we do. We were just checking out random, like we checked out new teams, we checked out old teams, we checked out the women's teams. Yeah, so we were, but yeah, it's a basketball game. It's next gen. It looks nice.
I think that game looks real nice. I
Yeah.
am super into NBA 2K21. It's a problem for me
Oh no.
because I like it. Like I found myself today like I want to do this more than anything else.
You
I
just
want
want
to
to
play
play a
this.
bunch of 2K.
Yeah,
You're gonna.
I'm surprised. It happens I think for me at the beginning of each generation because there's innovation there to see.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb 2K is like I don't know like in the gaming circles, right? I realize it's a sports game, but like I understand the argument like why would you buy a new system? There's no games. And that works for almost everybody. But if you are a 2K fan, this is like and you like a technical leap in generations and want to see a generation defying game, that's 2K. I mean, the graphics are insane. The detail is insane. And not just fidelity wise, but like each individual player's footwork and jump shot and the animations into it, like that stuff for basketball fans is incredible. And
Yeah.
it's oh man, so Logan, I think I really like it a lot. And I'm a basketball fan, so that probably has something to do
I mean,
with
I
it. But
sent
when
you the.
Steph's release like wobbles like that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's got that
Every
extra
detail
gooseneck
is
bounce
there.
thing.
I mean, even I went back and I was playing as the 0203 Mavericks. and I sent you a video because Nash comes down the court, he dribbles twice, does, and then just continues
Yeah.
going. I'm like, they put that in the game. Great.
Yeah.
Like I almost jumped out of my chair. I was just like, did you see that? I was like, so I had to go back and replay it, send it, like just video my screen and send it to all my NBA friends. I was like, guys, you got to see this.
I really, during the finals, actually the run up to the finals, I really like watching two guys shoot, Jamal Murray and Duncan Robinson.
Hmm.
And both of their releases are perfect. And the way they land, their body language, the way they act after they hit a shot, like all of that stuff is it's just so good. It's so on the money. And the thing that I really wanted to see is not just do they look better, which they do.
Hmm.
Is the lighting better? Yes. Did this car look better? Yes. So all that stuff's
Hmm.
great, but it's the animations. I had James Harden drop 35 points on me earlier today, and I wasn't mad at all because it looked like James Harden. It wasn't like
That's what
this.
James Harden does, right? So
Yes, but it wasn't this clunky like the computer. Like I could tell, I was like the computer knows how to play this game, and I don't. It's frustrating. Like he went like coast to coast and crossed. Like Gary Harris fell over and he goes behind his back. He takes contact from Jokic and he finishes at the rim, and then he does this flex thing afterwards. And it was just like it.
It felt
I
real.
replayed it like a minute. For a minute, I watched it
Mm.
over and over and over because it looked like a Harden finish. The way Harden takes contact, like the way he finishes at contact, the way certain guys do different things around the rim that
They can.
only they do. Like Bam Adebayo, like there was some Bam Adebayo specific animations I saw today, and it's like that kind of level of detail. Not just it's a hard problem to solve because like until now maybe it's not so easy, but when big guy pump fake, pump
Hmm.
fake, and throws up this terribly animated like thing that you see every big man do in the game. When they have a move that's custom to the player
Hmm.
coming out of those things, like this is a this for me, and it's only been a couple of days, but
Hmm.
this game for me is like the reason why these systems not don't exist, but it's the reason why you can show someone something like, no, look here's where we're at now.
Yeah.
So
The
I like it.
yeah. I mean, I even Dirk had Dirk moves. Like he was shooting off 1 foot. Like it
Oh,
was,
really?
yeah. It
Oh, that's
was
awesome.
Dirk's hair from 0203 was there, and it was just, it was special.
That's
Right.
the other thing too is hair tech.
Hair
Like
tech
this
looks good.
this round of hair, it's finally like it's not like a blob for like Nash or even
Mhm.
like guys with short hair.
It doesn't
You
fully
you said that.
flow Nash's hair still, but it looks better than it ever has.
well,
Yeah, it still looks good.
we have to wait for the wrestling game, right? So we can see Triple H's hair. That's the thing, right?
That's always
It's
the
this.
thing.
I mean, it's the same company technically, so you think
Yeah.
one might help the other out. It's funny though. Like 2K games historically look great right out of the gate, and then they start to look worse
Yeah,
every
because it's like
generation.
they put the heavy
Wrestling
investment at the
games.
front, and then it's like, oh.
Yeah, that's it'll. So they'll come out with like we'll see a screenshot of Triple H, and it'll be like, oh my god, that looks incredible. And then 3 years later, he'll look
Well,
like an
somehow they tend to degrade
N64
over time.
Triple
Like
H.
if you even showed, like, if you look back and look at like 2K16 versus 2K20, you're like,
I know.
why? Like, what did you
Yeah,
do?
I know. I know. Yeah, no, it's not.
So
I'm not joking. I mean,
Hmm.
it's what they do.
one of the
Yeah,
one of the things I know with last generation at the beginning with the sports games is that they took out a ton of stuff so that they could focus on making it the next generation. Did they do that, or is everything still all the modes and everything still
It
there? Have
appears
you
all the
noticed
modes are still
anything?
there. I didn't. I mean, the my player's still in there. Uh, I mean, all the league stuff. I didn't see anything missing. Did you, Jason? Like any like the modes?
no, I'm sure that there. I haven't looked. I think the playground stuff is still in there, from what I can
I
understand.
think so too.
So that's the big social arena for that game. That's not my player focused and not just pick a team and play online.
Hmm.
I think it's there, but honestly, today I was cycling through players that I wanted to see shoot, like just ah, so
Hmm.
good. It's good. I like it a lot, and that's
Yeah.
probably. I mean, I'm a huge basketball fan, obviously, so that helps. But
So
it looks like a generational leap, and I think that's the thing that I wanted to mention.
yeah, the other interesting thing is back to the PS5 controller. So, oh boy, does that thing light up like no other during 2K.
Okay.
Because and you can so when you're playing it, you can feel the gears literally moving within that thing to change the tension on all kinds of stuff. Because if you pass it to another player, all of a sudden everything flips. Like it's like it all of a sudden it's got to be like, okay, well now this changes and your the tension on your shot is a little bit different, or like, or if you run into a player, like you're like, especially if you're playing defense on somebody and you're holding down the defense button and stuff, or in different holding down different turbo buttons, the tension on all of those triggers completely changes. It like you go to shoot, if you go to shoot like using square, like it will, depending on like if you're just shooting a jump shot versus you're driving in to shoot, it like pushing that button down feels completely different. And I feel like with that, like I was worried like because of the amount of gears and stuff that are moving around in that thing, like boy, like is that thing gonna last? Like, 'cause playing any other game, I have not felt that at all. But playing 2K, that thing is just like it is weird. It is downright weird.
Okay.
So
It.
yeah,
I
it's just
think there's
something
a
different.
little of that there. It might be a 2K decision
Hmm.
because there's a little bit of that with the Series X controller, but not one of these controllers is like, look at me rattle, and the other one's not that. So
Yeah, because I mean, there's still some like adaptive trigger things on the Xbox, right? It's just not to this degree. Like this thing is, it's kind of creepy. Like I should like video my controller, like because you can hear it very loudly doing that.
I would actually, yeah, I'd like to see that. One other thing I wanted to mention
Mm.
about the Series X, it appears I haven't done it, but it appears that my play and charge kit for my One X is compatible with the new controller, which I think is
Thought they
cool.
were I thought there were two different kinds of. I thought there was USB-C versus USB.
So
I think the
is
the pack, I think the pack is the same.
yeah, if I
The
understand
cord is new.
correctly, the
Oh, the
every accessory that was on Xbox One is forward compatible with
okay, so just not the
Xbox
cord.
Series. Yeah. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so you can put the battery pack in there though.
So if you
I
if you
think so.
have official Microsoft stuff from your Xbox One, it will work on
Oh, well, that's
Series.
nice.
Yeah.
I was unboxing it and I was like, oh, I wonder, what I need, and I think I'll do it right now while we're talking, actually. But I think that's the case
I have,
for
and I
those
still have a
controllers.
custom controller. I'm glad that'll work moving forward. I just wonder if it, on a lot of games, like if I'll just continue using that, and then on games where I want to use it, if I need a heavy D-pad, I'll switch to the other one. Hmm. There you go, day one.
Day one.
Mine's
Doesn't seem like it's that long ago, does it, guys?
2013, right? It doesn't really
Long time
feel like that.
ago.
I feel like it wasn't that long ago. I remember packing that box up and bringing it home, and
I will say that was one of and thinking back on it, like LeBron was on the cover of that one. I'm pretty sure that 2K, and that's the
remember.
thing you played, to see the advancement, and here we are again years later.
Hmm.
So it's kind of neat. Caleb, you need to borrow that from Logan at some point just to see it, because
Yeah.
Hmm.
it's it
It's
is
visually, it's a thing.
something else. Yeah.
But I've also heard that visually a thing is Demon Souls. Is that visually a thing?
Yeah. You guys at some point need to come look at it on this screen. This Demon Souls is by far and away the best looking game I've ever seen. It's
Really?
Mhm.
it is
Oh, really?
so good looking.
Really?
Everything
Wow.
I've seen, screenshots of it, I'm thinking that yeah, I think it might be 2K. But there are two different
Yeah,
kinds of
really?
I
games.
haven't
Wow,
really
okay.
seen 2K in motion,
They're
but
they're
man,
two
this
very
thing,
different styles, that's for sure.
yeah.
But boy, yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, there's one level in particular where it's raining and the rain's kind of coming in diagonally, and it just like with that HDR and the reflections and everything popping like that, and the deep blacks from that OLED, it just like literally I didn't move my character for a minute because I was just watching the scenery take place.
That's awesome.
It's incredible. It looks so good.
It's really funny to me as we think about generations, like how, especially you, Caleb, for are you buying a 3080 or have a 3080 on the way
70,
for your
3070.
PC? 3070. Um, it's interesting for me. There's always at the beginning of a generation, there's always for this very small amount of time, the best looking game is on a console,
Yeah.
if only for months, right? But everybody agrees, like, well, this game looks good. This, have you seen this? And then eventually, it's like common knowledge. Whether that will be Demon Souls or not in the coming months, we'll find out. But let's just say, for the sake of this conversation, it is. And it's really interesting to me that there's always that very small gap in time where a console does something that is unmatched anywhere else.
Yeah, this was like, what was that? 2 weeks ago or last week, I guess, when Assassin's Creed came out. I had a 2070 in my computer, 2070 Super in my computer, booted up Assassin's Creed, and it was just like blown away with how it looked. And then in the meantime, I have your PS5, booted up Demon Souls, played that, was absolutely blown away by it. I got my 3070, installed it in my PC, booted up Assassin's Creed, and I'm like, this doesn't look as good.
Oh, interesting.
Like Demon Souls actually kind of ruined the way that Assassin's Creed looks, even though it was an upgrade from the last time I looked at it.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I don't. Okay, I'm gonna have to finish AC first. No, not really, because I do want to see Demon Souls, and I won't be done with AC until next year at this time. So
probably.
So the thing that I'm most surprised with Demon Souls, besides the fact that it's gorgeous, is just it is a 1-for-1 recreation of that original game.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I don't know, I didn't expect that, but it really is, even down to a lot of the glitches. Like they recreated glitches, which is insane. There's
in a good way or a bad way?
In a good way.
Okay.
There's one level where you can go up onto a wall, and then there's a staircase that it's kind of a broken floor that it leads up to. But if you roll at just the right time, you can get over that broken section, and then it'll drop you into a way later level or way later part of the game. So you can like literally skip like half of the level if you do that.
So are runners already doing this stuff?
I bet, yeah. Because
Wow,
that's
fun.
like they left that in there. They didn't say, that's not intended, we'll take that back out. Nope, they left it in because that was part. There was one that I tried to do that I remember doing in the original that did not work anymore. But that one was a little more complicated because what you do is you run off of a cliff, and then you exit the game as fast as you can. And then the game thinks that you were down below that section when you load it up the next time, so it starts you down there. That does not work anymore. At least I couldn't get it to work. So that one though is probably because of the way that they made the map in the original game, because they like layered on top of each other. So if they did the map, it might just be like a completely different engine thing or whatever. So that didn't work, but like a lot of the stuff actually still does work.
How far into it are you, and how long do you think you'll be playing it for?
So there's the way the game works is there's 5 areas. They're called archways, archstones, I think. And each one of those has 3 sections to it, and one of them has 4 sections. So total, that's what, 16, right?
Okay.
Yeah, 16 areas to go to. Yeah, I know, right? So I've done, let's see, 1 1 1 2 2 1 3 1 4 1 4 2 4 3 and 5 1. So I've done 8 of them. So I've done half. And I don't know if I like, it's gonna depend on a couple of things if I keep going or not. because the more I play it, the more I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this frustrating part. I don't know if I want to do that again.
Interesting.
So and it was only, I think that was last year I played the original one, so it hasn't been
Oh,
that long since
yeah,
I
I
played
guess
it.
that, yeah. I guess I thought it had been
So
like almost 10 years since you played it.
no, so it's kind of like I keep thinking like, oh man, do I really want to do that boss again? Like, do I really want to get all the way there and then hit that wall again? Because there's a couple of bosses that took me a long time to get past. So I'm not sure if I want to do that or not, just because like there's a there's so much other stuff out that I want to play right now.
Hmm.
But that being said, like I I I've kind of found myself today. I was kind of on the fence if I wanted to start it up again or not. But I went in and finished 2 levels, so maybe maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Hmm. Interesting. Hmm. I've never played a Demon Souls game in my life, so or a Dark Soul
Well,
game.
there's
You,
just this is just the one Demon Souls, right, Caleb? And
Mm.
then the rest of
I
it's Dark Souls on.
Yep, and I would recommend that you guys see this game, and maybe play the first part of it just to see what it's like. But
Yeah.
don't I wouldn't recommend you guys bang your head against the wall on this one, because it's a like I said, it's a pretty faithful recreation for good and for bad. Like it is an imbalanced game. There's no two ways around that. It is
It's
you'll
hard.
go into a level and just get absolutely hammered and be like, why did that just happen? I have no idea. It's just
Mm.
because that's the way the original was. The Dark Souls games and Bloodborne and Sekiro got way better about that kind of stuff.
Mm.
About like letting you ramp up to a good place. Demon Souls was their first go in this genre, so it's kind of all over the place with it.
Mm.
And the new one is exactly one for one. So
Hmm.
just know that when you look at
Know that
it.
going into it.
Yeah.
I definitely want to look at it. I remember it made a huge impression on me when we saw that gameplay from a while ago, and
Hmm.
so I want to look at it in person for sure.
Yeah.
But it's good to hear you let us off the hook more or less, because I just
Well,
you're right. There's too much other stuff to play, more accessible things to play too.
or
Like even if Demon Souls is
Hmm.
the best game of 2020, like I just can't, I would miss literally everything
yeah.
else at the cost of it, you know?
And that kind of stuff I was talking about, like the imbalance and all that that stuff I could forgive in 2009 when the original came out. Is like this is kind of their first attempt at a new genre. This is, I think it was 2009, but it's kind of their first attempt at everything. So I'll forgive it for that, because I know that the next steps. But in 2020, I don't know if I can forgive that kind of stuff anymore. You know,
I
so
would have never thought, like, I thought it was when that game launched, I worked at GameStop and it was like this boutique video game hipster thing. And like we wouldn't sell it very often. It'd be like one copy in, one copy out, one copy in, one copy out. And it just, I would have, looking back on it now, like this would lead to a Bloodborne and a Sekiro, you know what I mean? And is it Elden Ring on the way?
yeah.
Is that the
Yep.
game?
Hmm.
Like it just, I would have never thought that this would spawn a phenomenon the way that it has. So combined with its pretty looks and what it's done for gaming, I think is kind of an interesting little retrospective 11 years later.
Hmm.
Right.
Got
Uh,
Is that it for you, Caleb? Are you and I done?
I played just a little tiny bit of Bug Snacks.
Not that many.
Not
Okay.
even enough to talk about it, but
I played about 45 minutes, I would say. So not a whole lot either. The only thing I will just say is my daughter started it, and I think it was kind of get even a little too complicated for her, my older daughter.
Mm,
They load once, like there's a section where you kind of like they're like, oh, here's like your what happens when you press the menu button, and there's a lot of tabs on there, and I think she was kind of like, whoa, this is too much. Like I thought this was gonna be like a nice little fun thing, and now there's just like tons of tabs with all kinds of stuff on it, and it's it seems like a game that at least so far maybe went a little too nuts with the in-depth. I don't even know what you call it, like mechanics, I guess, of this game. Like it didn't need to be this in depth, maybe.
Yeah, I think they kind of the impression that I get so far is that they kind they didn't know what they had at first. Like they there's this game that like it's very appealing from like a very simple standpoint
Hmm.
of like you look at that art design and you think this is a simple game that me and my kids could get into, but then you start playing it and you realize, oh, maybe they were trying too hard on this one.
Like
you
they
know
took like the Viva Pinata and were like, what if we threw like 20 more mechanics on that? And I was like,
yeah.
no, yeah, like it's so I don't know what's gonna happen with it. I need to sit down. I feel like I need to sit down with it and play it a little bit more, but at the same time, if I start playing a little bit of it more, I feel like we might lose more tutorial stuff that she may fall off on and like not understand how to get to that stuff. So I don't know. Maybe we'll try to play it together a little bit more and give it a shot. But yeah, it's that stuff scared her away. And then she was like, "Let's just play more Astrobot." It's like, all right.
Okay.
So and
Yeah.
she's replayed a bunch of levels, and so I've barely played any of it. So anytime I haven't touched the PS5, my kids have been on it. So so there's that. Um, so other things for me I have been playing Spider-Man Miles Morales. That is a very good game. I am done with it. I will bring it to you tomorrow, Caleb.
Are you already done?
I'm done with it. When
That's
I say I'm
awesome.
done with it, I'm done with the story. I do want to go back and do all the side stuff in that game. I think that's also another very easy platinum to get. And it's fun to go back into that world. Uh, once you beat the game, I had to look this up because I was like, I swear they were showing stuff with like you had a bodega cat in your backpack that, and it's in the post game
Ah,
where you get that. Uh, as in the way that they told that Spider-Man story last time, if you like the story of the first Spider-Man game, you're gonna like the story of this game. Like it is a Marvel ass story, and that I mean that's what you're gonna get. It's a lot. It's definitely shorter. It's about 7 hours. Is that what I would say it is? So it does justify its $50 price point. So if you're going straight through it, it's about 7 hours. There are definitely times when you can tell that this is a cross-gen game, just kind of like AC Valhalla. But then you get into more of the indoor areas, I would say, probably have any indoor area that has outside lighting. That's when you can start to see that the ray tracing come in. Anything with when you're kind of either in sunrise or dusk, swinging around the city looks real nice. Uh, I think they did a massive disservice to the game by having it be set in wintertime because they have a lot of snow, and I think that makes for a grainy look to everything because it's snowing. Uh, I messed around a little bit with the performance mode versus quality mode because, it's next gen. Why wouldn't it be 4K 60? It's not. You're still getting you've got to choose your 4K or you got to choose your 60. You got to pick your poison. I think that's probably a carryover of the cross gen piece. At least I'm going to hope that's what it is because I was promised 4K 60 and I'm getting 4K 30 or I'm getting 60 1080. Come on. Like, I don't know. Uh, I liked both
oh man,
versions.
this is the first time I'm gonna have to make that decision
Yeah,
because my old TV was 1080, so it was like whatever, I'll pick the frame rate. But now like,
I ultimately decided to play at 4K at the 4K level. I did both. Um, I still felt like it ran well enough at 4K. Like I didn't feel like it was ever chunky on me or anything else that I felt like I needed the 60. So that's why I went ahead and stayed with the 4K. Um, just because I think everything looked a little bit crisper. The HDR was better. All in the ray tracing was nice to have. That lighting, some of that lighting stuff is really nice. So that's the direction I would go. Um, at the same time, I mean, like that, I am very impressed with how that game decide made it not just, oh yeah, here's some Spider-Man DLC. Like, I mean, because in all reality, it's the same city. They didn't have to do anything with the city, but they did enough with the having a lot of interior areas that you were fighting in and doing things that it was like it's a new game. Plus, there's Miles has completely different powers that Spider-Man does. The combat basics are there, but there's all of this Venom stuff that you can do with him that's completely different and changes the way that you fight. So it is more entertaining to pick up and play that way. Um, that being said, there is a lot of side stuff to do in there, so that will. I finished the game. I think it like. I think I pulled it up earlier. I can't. I'd have to go back and look, but it was somewhere in the 60s percent wise. And side stuff, I did. There are 3 side things that you can do for 9 total things that actually increase your combat skills, traversal skills, and I will not say the spoiler skill. Um, so then I did not do any of the spoiler skill upgrades because it's just not the way I play that game. But the combat and the traversal ones, I did those, but at the same time, those side missions to get those upgrades, 5 minutes apiece. So nothing crazy. And so yeah, you're looking at maybe 15 to 30 minutes I did on those.
Does the I forgot to mention this.
Mm.
With does the when you press the guide button on the PlayStation, does the estimated time thing come
So
up come
that
out for
does pop
Miles?
up for Spider-Man, and I did do that the first night. It was about 10:15 or so. I popped it up and I was even actually just about ready to call it anyway. But as soon as I popped it up, it said this mission will take you 22 minutes, and I was like, "No, I think I'm good. I'm going to call it. I'm just going to go ahead and go to bed." Like I was already just
Yeah.
tired enough. So
Yeah, the one time that I noticed that was actually in Bug Snacks. You do the very first area
mhm.
where you get like the 3 things for the dude.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, I wonder what the next thing is going to be. So I pressed that guide button and it said, your next, this next mission will take 44 minutes. And I'm like, all right, nope, I'm not doing this right now.
I didn't think it took 44 minutes that next mission after that. So, um, and bug snacks, but I guess they're pulling weird data at this point. I don't know. Who knows
Yeah.
what they're pulling from that? But yeah, Miles Morales is really good. I like that a lot. So I take it I'm bringing it to you next. Is that the deal?
Yeah, well, Jason doesn't currently have a way to play it.
That
So.
is true. So I just figured, yeah, that if I'm bringing it to you next, I
Yeah, so
assume
maybe I'll put Demon Souls on hold,
you could
play through that, and then
probably finish Miles in 2 nights.
yeah.
I mean, if it's depending on how much you do and how much you want to go nuts with it, you could. I mean, knowing you, you might plow through it in one, but um, I'd probably do it in two. I mean, it took me 4 days to beat it. I'm going just playing different times and stuff. But I had all day Friday off, and so yeah, I messed around with it a bunch there. But yeah, I would say it's probably about 7 hours,
Okay.
somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's
And
what I was
And
going to
then
ask.
yeah,
you're at like you said 60% completion.
somewhere in the 60s. I think I was maybe at like 64, maybe like somewhere around there.
So we're thinking like 10, 12 hours for the 100.
Yeah, I think for the platinum, you're probably about 10, 12 hours. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a lot of that side stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things to do, but they seem to go quick. Like they're not really long drawn out things. Any of the side stuff that I've done, they've been pretty quick. You have an app. Um, it's that now that you can use that people can request your assistance. The friendly neighborhood Spider-Man app. So that's some stuff that's on there. So, but it's definitely enjoyable. That's for sure. So
I'm excited to play that. I'm especially because I can get through it right now.
Yeah, that's there's there I kind of hmm. There's something to be said for maybe a game like if there's a AAA title out there that can come out for $40 and be like, yeah, I'm under 10 hours and this is what you're getting. Like that felt good. Like something like that.
Right.
It's like this is attainable for me to do with my time and to be able to play multiple things. So good on them for making that and doing what they did with it. So
That's the Lost Legacy thing that we all love, you know,
hmm
like the impact that made on us that year. Yeah, it's awesome, and it's not, you know, a 40-hour Uncharted game. It's still
Right.
awesome though. So
it
that's
even goes
interesting.
back to what we talked about with TV about sometimes how the old shows like they're long drawn out and they don't need to be long and drawn out. You don't need to order 12 episodes. Order what you need to get the story done. That's with this Miles game. They don't dick around with the story. It is
You had a perfect transition there, and you missed it.
to TV.
I was gonna, well, like Queen's Gambit.
I could, but see, I wasn't done with games yet. That's the
Okay.
problem.
All right. Yeah.
But Call of Duty is coming this week for me as well. So I'll be getting that too. So hopefully, Jason and I can probably review that next week, probably.
Yeah, maybe hopefully. I have no idea what the campaign length on that is.
I
So
heard it's
I think
short.
8 hours. I think is what I
Mhm.
was saying.
same
Mhm.
kind of thing. We'll see. Logan
Yeah,
might have a chance. Yeah, maybe not. We'll see.
we'll see. Yeah, we'll see where life takes us, I guess, in the next week. Um, and I also played another game. You guys you have no desire
I'm
to
just
play
gonna
it.
end the Zoom call right now. Here.
I know.
Just,
All right, and we're
all
just
right.
gonna end
See
it.
you guys.
Yep. That would be Kingdom Hearts Melody. Oh, and he's gone. Yep, he left. And now he's at the bottom, and I don't know what to do. Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
you reversed. Yeah. Oh man,
Oh,
where am
God.
I?
You're in the upper left now.
Am I looking at you,
You're
or
looking
should
at
I turn
me.
around?
Yeah. And
Am I?
now I'm looking at you.
You're
Yeah.
such a
Mhm.
good Lord.
So yes, Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory is the newest entry into the Kingdom Hearts world.
You played what?
Yep, a rhythm game.
What?
hmm
What?
It's a rhythm game. Uh, that
Go on.
game. hmm
Talk about it, Logan.
Talking about it.
No,
So
you talk.
okay, what is the best part about Kingdom Hearts?
Nothing. Moving on. The worst part of Kingdom Hearts, you
No,
said?
the
The
best part
worst
about
part?
Kingdom Hearts.
The best part. I don't know. Let's get back to the worst,
Okay,
not the
Goofy.
best. No. The music, right? I mean,
it's the
well, that's
music.
what I would.
That's
Yes,
right.
of
That's what I mean.
course.
So that's all this game is just the music. It's just it's a rhythm game with the music. So you just get to go back,
Is this
experience all the good music then throughout the game.
is this game canonical?
Yes,
Okay.
there are story beats in this game. You're muted.
Of course there are.
They
Sorry, I
couldn't.
just
They couldn't make this.
I said that ashamed under my breath.
hmm
Of course, just of course.
It's all about the melody of memory is all about Kyrie. So it is you're reliving Kyrie's memories throughout the entire Kingdom Hearts saga and everywhere she has been and how her thought process worked throughout the entire 3 games plus all of the other side games and everything else along with it. So
Is it chronological in that way then?
yes, so you are literally
It's
starting
kind of
at
nice.
Kingdom Hearts 1. Like you start with simple and clean. You start right up through Twilight Town, and you go to Atlantica, Agrabah, all of the original Kingdom Hearts 1 games. So I am now just about to the end of Kingdom Hearts 1. So there's a lot of worlds, and each world has 2 songs, and they're basically the walk around music and the fight music is pretty much what you get. Uh, each song is about 2 to 2.5 minutes long, I would say. Each one, The biggest problem I have with that game is that it's 3 lanes. So think of it this way: you always have a team of 3. You have an attack button, which so essentially there's your buttons are attack, jump, magic, and then you have if you need to do 3 attacks, you have to press 3 different separate attack buttons. So you can press any one of the attack buttons. The problem is you cannot remap those buttons to anything you would like. So you are stuck with their mapping scheme, which their mapping scheme is attack is circle, X is jump, which kind of makes sense. Magic is triangle, but then the other 2 attack buttons are R1, L1. So if you need to do the all 3 things, you got to press circle or R1, L1 all at the same time. I don't know why attack isn't square. It drives me absolutely crazy that it's not, because circle just doesn't seem right. Circle is the dodge button in Kingdom Hearts, not square. So I don't know why in the world they changed that for this game, but it drives me batshit crazy. So I'm struggling at points with that to do it. Also, I'm playing on the Switch, and I got that game on the Switch just so that, well, and it's worked out well because my kids have wanted to play PS5, and so I can just bring the Switch down and play the Caleb's.
I'm just laughing because, like, you would think that would be the other way around, right? The kids would be the ones saying, "I want to play Kingdom Hearts on the Switch." And,
Yeah.
oh, cool! Yes, here you go. Let me play my PS5. But nope.
It's been the other way around, right? This is exactly why I got it, so that we would have it on different systems, and nope, it's the other way around. They're playing the PS5 and I'm on the Switch. Like, yep, this is how it's going. My kids are playing a little bit of Kingdom Hearts, but the problem is they go back to their favorite songs all the time and don't want to continue on with the story. So they're just going back and playing. Oh, I want to play the Little Mermaid level. I want to play the Halloween Town one. All right, whatever. All right. So I don't know. That game is what it is. It's a theater game. What's a theater rhythm? Is that what the Final Fantasy one was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the same basic concept. So um, I will probably have nothing else to say about that game ever, other than I'm continuing to play it.
I was just looking at gameplay, Logan, because I hadn't seen it before. So is there any kind of new cinematics or anything added in between?
Yeah.
So there's something, there's more there.
Yeah. So as you
for Kingdom Hearts fans especially.
Yeah. So as you complete certain sections, the way it's kind of split out is like there's about 3 worlds per section, and once you finish a section, then you get a little more story beat. So every time you get something, but every time you get a story beat, it goes into the theater, so you can go and watch it at any point in time. So if my kids do it and I miss it, I can go in and watch it. So that works out pretty well.
They could have mailed it in and not even done that, honestly, and this still would have sold probably. So that good for them for taking that extra step, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, some people are upset that they threw that stuff in there. They're like, "You're gonna make me buy a rhythm game so that I have to understand the story beats." I don't watch it on YouTube. Like, it's all be on there if you really.
That's true.
Really upset about it, but like I actually like the music of the game and thought this would be fun to mess around with here and there. So, all right. So I have no transition now, Caleb, but we will go on to the Queen's Gambit. So who else?
Did you guys didn't watch any TV other than that, or we
Nothing to talk about.
Okay. I did think of one thing. I watched. I finished Dave, which was on FX.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys have heard about that.
Oh yeah, it's the White Rat Boy show,
Little
right?
Dicky, yeah. It's really, really good. I was amazed at how good it was. It like I don't want to build it up too much, but like at certain points, it almost gives you kind of an Atlanta type of vibe. It's very, very good. Highly recommend that.
Is that a this year show, by the way?
Yeah, it is.
Is it a season 2, or was that just? I'm just forgetting. It was that long.
Yeah, it
ago.
came out in like
out
March or something. I watched the first episode in it was before COVID for sure, because I remember there was a big group of people and we watched that first episode, which was not the setting to watch that show in. And I was
Yeah.
like, I don't like this. This sucks. And then heard so many good things about it that I was like, all right, I'll go back and try it again. And watching it and actually paying attention to it this time, it's really, really good.
I might check that out. Half hour or the half hour
Yeah, they're
episodes?
half hour. Well, they're more like, some of them are like 22 minutes or
22.
something.
Yeah,
Right.
20. Yeah, if it's a sitcom, it's 22 minutes on.
Okay, I might do that, especially if you're getting some. Yeah, no, if you're getting some at least West production like vibes from Atlanta out of that show, then I could see how
Yeah,
that would translate well.
episode 5 in particular, it goes into some like mental health issues, and it's they nail it. It's really, really captivating.
Okay, I'm gonna add that to my list.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, Queen's Gambit's the only thing. I don't even remember. Had I finished that last time we talked or not?
You had
I don't
not. I think
remember.
you were
Okay.
only on episode 2 or 3.
Okay. I have finished it now.
You have finished it now?
Yeah.
Jason, where are you at with Queen's Gambit?
I finished it.
You finished it?
Mhm.
Okay.
I went through it. Yeah. Mhm.
All right. Was my prediction way off that you guys would really like it and it would be a contender?
Oh, it's a contender, I think. Yeah, I like I wouldn't. There's so much good TV this year that I don't know where it's going to land.
Oh
but-
yeah, all I said it was a contender. Yeah, that's yeah.
No, you said top 10.
Contenders top 10.
Okay. I think there's more than 10 shows that'll be contenders this year.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
All right, that's fair. Jason, what did you think of it?
There's a lot of good TV this year, but Logan, you seemed like you had pretty strong feelings on it, so that's why I burnt through it quickly
Mhm.
too. I think that show is good. The thing that I kept coming back to it is like we were just talking about production, like the way that show is produced and shot and edited, it is very much like The Crown, which is weird because I don't know whether it would hit the same notes for you guys as that, because I know that neither one of you are really interested in watching that, and that premiered today, season 4.
Mhm.
But it's interesting because the cerebral nature of Queen's Gambit and how they make mundane things entertaining, like chess,
Right.
and a show that's all really about relationships. Really,
Mhm.
that shows a lot. It's weird. It's edited and acted and shot like I don't know whether maybe the producers are the same or something, but it's got the
It's a
Crown
Netflix show.
all
Maybe it's
over it. Maybe there's some commonalities there in behind the scenes, and I think the strongest part for me of Queen's Gambit is just like the quality of that show, especially for Netflix, where you're just not sure what you're gonna get. You know what I mean?
50.
Because it's like when you boot up Netflix, there's no good way of saying like this is the Metacritic show on Netflix you want to watch. This one is trash. This one is for this kind of person.
This is the Adam Sandler movie we made.
Yeah.
It's all kind of, like there. And so with Netflix, it's hard to tell, especially like they've got, there's like You and 13 Things I Hate About You and stuff that's like that. And then there's like really high bar television like The Crown and Queen's Gambit, and then Sandler movies, and it's just kind of hard to tell what you're supposed to be
They have to
watching
appease.
on
They're
Netflix.
trying to appease all audiences, and
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
I guess you're right. Well, I think Queen's Gambit is one of their premium offerings. Then, if I may say that, it's very, very good.
Mhm.
We'll see where it lands.
Yeah.
I do like the length of it. I think it was just right.
Yeah.
Like almost one more episode would have been too much.
One
was
less, not
like
enough.
running up into like I was like, oh, this better stop now, and it did. It did. I do think that it tackles some. I don't know. Maybe it's just because like networks are different and the way they handle stuff is different. Like HBO handles substance abuse and mental illness and stuff like that always differently.
Hmm.
and Queen's Gambit kind of gets there, but it doesn't really. You know what I mean? Like it kind of tackles it, but not. It doesn't go all the way with it. Like she's got a fucking problem, and like they kind of I don't know. I wish they would have maybe handled that a little bit differently with a little more care,
Mm.
perhaps.
I also think it was a
Um,
period piece with that where they didn't handle that in the
yeah,
60s.
that's a good point. That's a good point.
So it was kind of like, yeah, they just were like, yeah, she's just got an alcohol problem. Yeah, like my uncle died of alcohol. Like that was what you did in the 60s and early 70s. It wasn't.
That's a good point.
So like there's that part of it.
There's a, yeah, people don't talk about therapy and substance abuse, or they didn't back then like they do now, right?
No,
People
yeah.
aren't um, ashamed of it and haven't acknowledged, like they haven't acknowledged alcohol or on that at that point of the show
Hmm.
and where they're at in the history, like of where we're at with substance abuse. Yeah,
Hmm.
there would be like the stigma still attached to it, right? Like if you have this demon or if you have
Hmm.
this disease, because it is a disease, right?
Hmm.
If you have this disease, you deal with it on your own. And I do think that that's definitely for me like the big takeaway, the underlying thing through that show is um, this girl's a genius, and the whether or not it was learned like environmental, right? Like
Hmm.
is she just naturally gifted or is she environmentally gifted because I think it's Scheibel,
Scheibel
right?
was
The
the janitor, yeah.
custodian's name.
Hmm.
Yeah, he um, whether or not he was just that excellent of a teacher, or whether it was like environmental,
Well, it was also
or
like,
if she was always going to be that way forever. And same with her
yeah.
mom. Like, was she destined to become an alcoholic because she watched her adopted mother, do that every day, and
Hmm.
how she coped with, the loss of her husband and not being able to perform, you know, uh, like become like a successful concert pianist or something. So that's how she dealt with it. So was that learned or was she always going to be an alcoholic? Was she always going to have a substance problem, whether or not she was given pills at a little girl age or not? So
Hmm. Yeah, the whole pill thing was just wild.
yeah, and that's what I mean. I think that
Hmm.
some of that is a little bit like I think they could have been a little more sensitive with how they handled that because that's some pretty grim shit. So,
Well,
and
it's,
it
yeah.
wasn't quite like comedic, like they didn't go all the way to like the way It's Always Sunny would handle,
No.
a drug problem. You know what I mean? Somewhere in the middle, I think, is sometimes where shows can get caught. Um,
Mm.
but that was the only thing that didn't jive for me. The chess, I don't even play chess, but oh man, every time she played chess, I'm like, I just can't take my eyes off of it, like you gotta beat the Russian. You gotta no, don't go out drinking. No, don't no.
Right. And you're just like, oh, why would you do this? Like, and it was like, and everything was fairly predictable, but
Oh sure.
you still were just like, it was good. It was like you were rooting for her to succeed, but she just couldn't get out of her
And
own way.
I read online somebody was being really hard on the end of that show because it was when all of her ex-lovers and friends get in one room together
That
half a
was a
world
little weird.
away. And
Yeah.
I know, but like we're already
I,
rooting for
It was the
chess.
super
Like
yeah,
happy
I
ending. It was
I
kind of
kind
like,
of like
fine.
that. I
I'm
liked it.
okay with it too.
Yeah, it was kind of like, I mean, chess is kind of similar to a sports movie,
mm-hmm.
right? Like this is the end
It's a
of the
competition
sports
thing.
movie where
Yeah.
everybody finally comes together and clicks and they win.
Yeah, the evil Russian gives her a hug at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
end,
This is
and you're just like,
this is Rocky getting
ah.
advice from all of his former
Yeah.
coaches and everything, and then going in and beating up the Russian. It's the same
Mm-hmm.
thing, right?
Apollo's
That's
there as a
if Burgess
hologram.
Meredith was back from the dead and in this TV show of the year.
Mm-hmm.
What was her name? What was the girl? I can't even remember her name now. You're a bum. You're a bum.
What
He's just
was her name
screaming at
now? I
her.
don't remember
His
either.
earpiece is falling out, spitting all over the chessboard.
And I don't really. I looked at the actress. I don't. And I don't know what she is. Beth is her name
Yeah.
in the
Beth, that's
show.
right. Yes.
But yeah, she hasn't really been in a ton of stuff. I mean,
She was
nothing
in
big, I guess.
the only thing that I know her from is from The Witch. which is a really really good movie. It's kind of horror-ish, but not a ton of horror. It's more creepy
That's
than it is like horror.
years ago
But
now too, right? The Witch.
yeah,
That's like a
yeah,
5-year-old movie,
2015 is what it
maybe.
says. Yeah.
Okay,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, it was that, and she was in New Mutants, I guess. But like, who
Who's
saw
seen
New
that?
Mutants?
Yeah, it was in the theater. It hasn't even. Yeah. Um, she looks like she was in that Split and Glass movie, which I have not watched.
I wonder
So
who she was in
the
that.
Casey Cook.
Unbreakable movies.
Yeah, that genre.
Oh man, I don't remember. I've seen those, but I don't remember anything about them.
Yeah, I saw Unbreakable, but I never saw any of the other movies that world lives in. Um, yeah, otherwise I don't really know anything of her, but she did a great job in that show, that's for sure.
Yeah.
She'll
I
probably.
thought everybody did a good job on
Mhm.
that show, really. Um, I think the actress who played her mother, I thought was
Yeah,
really
she did
good.
very good too.
The guy, the her trainer, her sensei, her chess sensei,
Which one?
he was in the Outsider, Scheibel.
Okay, yeah.
So it was interesting to see him back to back in shows. He's
That
got a
is
more prominent
interesting.
role in the Outsider, yeah. But I was like, I don't. I mean, I've seen this guy in stuff before, but that's back to back shows. I've really liked him a lot, and he's not in Queen's Gambit very long, but he
He's.
doesn't even say anything, but he still like makes a huge impact on
Mhm.
that show. Man, when they go back and she sees the picture,
Mhm.
jeez, jeez, whew,
Yeah.
man, that's rough. Yeah,
And then
Mhm.
she
because
sees
like
all the newspaper clippings and stuff that he kept.
that's what I
That he kept
mean.
up with her
Because,
over the
ooh,
years, and
yeah.
just was
Yeah,
like, it was like,
he
oh,
followed
this
her
was
and
my father figure, even though I only knew him for a year, but he basically meant the world to her. And
he left her alone. Like
hmm
out of all the people that stayed in her life, like he was there and she didn't even realize it. That's yeah. I that was whew, that was rough.
hmm
Good show. 7 episodes.
Yeah.
Seven episodes.
Nice size. Good on you, Netflix. That's just what we're looking for.
hmm Very much so. All right. Anybody have anything else for the group?
That was a lot. That was a big week. We
It was
got
a
through it
Yeah.
in a pretty concise manner too.
Yeah.
Good for
Somehow we
us.
did. Maybe it was just because we all knew we had to get somewhere, or we knew we had to get through stuff. So it was like, all right, let's hammer it out, get it done.
Any
Mhm.
major no new releases this week, right?
I think we're out of new releases until Cyberpunk, right?
Cyberpunk.
Oh no, wait.
Okay.
That one game, Phoenix Rising, or what is it called?
Immortals Phoenix
Immortals
Rising.
Phoenix Rising comes out the week December 3rd, I think, and then Cyberpunk comes out December 10th.
Yep.
Okay.
Those are the only two things left on my list for the year.
hmm
But there's a lot of currently out now. Out now.
hmm
All of I always don't know how to do this. A lot of stuff right there.
There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I felt good about finishing Miles Morales as quick as I did, and I think I'm gonna be in a better spot if I can kind of get through that. Maybe see how Bugs Next goes here in the next few days, and see when I get Call of Duty as well.
Well, no, I have a unboxing video to watch too. So,
I
That's
know
right.
it better be in
Over
ASMR
and
form.
over and over. It's not. You were supposed to take care of that, you jerk.
I was too excited, and I got rid of that microphone. I didn't say I got rid of it. I was borrowing my brother-in-law's Blue Yeti, and I let him have it back because I figured I'm not good at that.
You gave it a shot. You tried.
Plus,
It's
I did before I did like run it through the old YouTube search just to see how many were already out there and there was at least 3 or 4 already out there.
you got to be the first.
Gotta be the first. Ain't first or last.
Yeah. All right, boys. Well, I'm gonna play Call of Duty, and I think that's it. That's what's on
This
my
week.
docket. So yeah,
All
and
right.
then maybe someday my PlayStation will reappear, and that's whenever it shows up again, fine, no big deal.
Mhm.
Miles Morales is only 7 hours long, so that really takes the pressure off.
It
yeah.
does. Yeah. But then you got Astrobot to play too, which is always fun. And you could try some
Yeah,
Bug
I do want
Snacks
to
out
play
too,
more of that.
depending on if you're interested in Bug Snacks at all. You could at least pop it in, at least download it. It's free for them. I mean, you might as well at least download it.
We'll see. Like, there's some things
Yeah.
I just like. I'm really nervous. I won't finish Spiritfarer. Like, there's some prioritization that I'm gonna have to
Oh
do.
yeah.
Like things
Yeah.
that as these games come out, I'm gonna try to
Well,
try to
the
really make some hard choices. Like, do I stop running Hades even though I really like running Hades? Do I need to stop to check other things out? So I've got some decisions to make, and Bug Snacks just might not be a thing that I get to.
I guess all I would
in
do
that
is hit the
regard.
download button so that you own it, and
Oh yeah, good point.
that's all you
Yeah.
got to do. Like you don't have
Yeah.
to. You could go back and play it in February if you so choose.
well, for the PlayStation for you, Jason, it's really not that bad because like you said, Miles Morales, you're under 10 hours there probably.
Mhm.
I mean, you should probably check out Demon Souls for a couple of hours. Astro is like 3 or 4. So you're looking at like total of everything. You're looking at like under 20 hours of stuff, which is I think
Except for Assassin's
doable,
Creed's
right?
120 hours
Well, I'm saying on PlayStation.
On
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 PlayStation.
PlayStation, that's
Yeah,
this is
on
the stuff we're in.
PlayStation.
hmm
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, that's the. Yeah, that's good to hear because shorter the better, and we don't. No one knows what to expect from Cyberpunk, but we'll see what happens. I mean, it seems close, but it's not. Like, it's the 15th of November today,
hmm
so there's
It's
lots of
25
things to
days
play
away.
There
Yeah,
there was
there's lots of things
also
for us to play between now and then.
hmm
there's also there's a person on Twitter who has successfully leaked 2 things, and I can't remember which 2 things they are now. But they said that there's a possibility that Cyberpunk might slip into 2021. So take that with the biggest grain of salt ever, but there is still until we see it physically on our
Until I'm
screens.
holding that case in my
Right.
hand, I will not believe
You know
it is
what?
out.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. Just as we talk about it quickly, like, because if it's early 2021, then that takes the pressure off to really evaluate that game because we are top heavy right now. Like, we've got some decisions to make at the top of that list. It's already going to be hard enough.
hmm
Like, if Cyberpunk comes out this year and is a real banger, like a real contender, I mean, like, there's going to be spilled blood, tears, because we've all got emotional attachments to these games up top.
Mhm.
Like, it is going to be, it's already rough enough. Like, I mean that positively. Like, we're gonna have a hard time coming together on a consensus for these games probably because they're all so good. And I don't know that for a fact. Maybe we agree on the best game, but I do know they're all really good games up there right now.
Right. I mean,
So
just for my personal list, any other year, Miles Morales probably be a top 3 game for my personal list. It'll be lucky to crack the top 5
yeah, sure.
just because of the year. I mean, the year we've had.
I think you're right, though. It is extremely top heavy, in that I think we're going to have probably 5 games ish where we're like, no, this has to be there. This has to be there. But then after that, it's going to be like a lot of gray area. So we'll see.
We're gonna have personal
There might,
battles to keep something on the
Yeah.
well,
to keep
not
something
I
in the
think
top
not just
10.
the top 10, but it's like, all right, this can be number 2 if you're willing to okay, I'll let this totally go off the top 10 if this can be number 2.
We're gonna have more
We've done-
bargaining this year.
We've done that before, that's for sure.
Yeah, Caleb, you can have your anime game, but we've got to put this game at number 1. Deal?
It's like deal. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel like
All right, excellent.
last year's agreement was pretty easy in compared to other years. I don't remember what we did. I felt like we had
I didn't see Death Stranding coming necessarily. I knew we all liked it, but I didn't see it like, no, we're not kidding. We all like this game a lot. Like, not ironically. No,
Right.
I like me some Die Hardman. All right.
it was just
so
dumb
ridiculous. Oh, I love Death Stranding.
This
So
year
good.
might be the hardest year for our number 1 pick, I want to say, because thinking back on it, like last year was pretty easy to do a number 1. 2018 was between 2 games. and
Mhm.
but I think all three of us were kind of like, well, whichever one ends up there is gonna be fine.
There's a 1A and 1B
yeah,
on that
yeah.
year. It really was. But
2017, I think we were all in agreement that for the collective list, Persona needed to be there.
mhm.
And then 2016, I guess that was a little harder too because we didn't have a clear cut
No, 2016 was
one.
harder.
But I think
I
this
mean, I
year
feel
there
good
are
about
like legit
2016 though.
probably 3 or 4 at least candidates for the number one. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
and I think, yeah, like you said, I think the battles for like 5 through 10 are going to be brutal.
yeah.
I will be less stressed about that though, because
Mhm.
all right, fine. But those, like, I'm conflicted enough about the top of this year, honestly. Like, I'm gonna have to do some soul searching here to figure out how I feel about it, frankly, because it's
Mhm.
so. If we leave Cyberpunk out of that discussion,
Yeah.
I'm really okay with that. I would love to have that discussion next year.
Or it comes out and it's a
Honestly.
dud.
Well,
that's
then that makes our
No,
discussion
you never
easier.
want that.
I'm just
No, you
saying
don't
it's a
want it, right?
possibility. I don't want it to happen. I want
Right.
all games to be good. I don't want to be disappointed like Watch Dogs. Sorry, we just keep shitting on you. But
Yeah, and I realize Melody of Memory is, top 2 for Logan, but
it is
we're just
top
gonna have to
decile
work
of
through
games
that.
of all time.
How do you get cover art for it back there already? That's amazing. All right, boys. Well,
Yeah,
it's been about a little over
it's
2 hours. Good job. Time to adjourn.
Yep, it is. All right. Well, we will see you next week with Chalupa discussions and maybe video games, but mostly chalupas. All right. Good night.